Okay, do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start.
Wollten wir dann vor Mitzrayim glücklich ausgelässt geworden, nur dem Jam sich nicht gespalten, da jeno.
Wollt der Jam sich schön gespalten, nur in Durkein in der Truppen, wollt uns der mal nicht gegolten, da jeno.
Da jeno, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno. Mir im Scheuner Iber, nicht gekannt noch Iberkommen, 40 Jahre in Größen mit der Dajeno.
Wollten mir die 40 Jahre schon in der Mitte durchgekommen und kein Mann dort nicht gefunden, Dajeno.
Dajeno, 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 Dajeno. Mir dort Mann gefunden, non dem Schabes nicht bekommen und zum Sinai nicht gekommen, Dajeno.
Wollten wir zum Sinai kommen, nur die Teure nicht bekommen, das Volk und Teure nicht geworden, Dajeno.
Vinkl. Find out how to get a free month, plus a free month of memory and focus tubes.
Okay. Who is talking?
Superbeats.com. Closed captioning brought to you by Gilt. Visit Gilt.com today for up to 70%.
Hey, guys, who is talking?
As the designers that get your heart racing.
Okay, found the problem. Okay, Janet, will you start reading?
Yisrael Yankov Schwartz was born in 1885 in Petrosian near Kovno, Lithuania, and he died in New York in 1971. He wrote poetry and worked with Zalman Schnorr to translate and publish works by Bialik.
Go on.
Dmitry Zissel Slepovich, originally from Belarus, has directed the Litvakus klezmer band, the Zissel Slepovich Trio, and the Zissel Slepovich Ensemble. He's performed in many National Yiddish Theater Folksbiene productions, including The Yiddish Fiddler on the Roof. 10-year-old Dina Slepovich performs at the Workman's Circle Yiddish Land Retreat.
Okay, thank you. Rina Leah,
Shalom
welcome
Aleichem.
back. It's been a
Shalom
while.
Aleichem, Minna.
Okay, so in honor of you coming back, read, please.
Okay, read the, okay. Wollten mir nur von Mitzrayim glücklich ausgelöst geworden, nur dem Jam sich nicht gespotten, Dayenu. Wollt der Jam sich nicht gespotten, nur im Durchgehen in der Trocken, wollt uns der Malt nicht gegolten, Dayenu. Aber jetzt übersetzen in English mit a
Please,
Bild,
please.
help, a bissel help.
Okay.
Would we only go
Yeah,
out?
Maurice will help you.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Would we, they don't say Gayan, but we only go out of Egypt. Luckily, we would have left, lazed geworden, would have been left. We would have been able to leave. If only the sea, gespotten must mean split or divide, I would imagine, that hadn't, if the sea didn't split, that would have been enough. With the, if the sea didn't split, and if,
Hold on.
I'm not sure Dorkein in der Trocken is go out with the steps, go out with steps, Trocken steps, I
It is
don't know.
dry.
Dry.
In dry
Passing-
land.
You would have to
Oh,
be
go
on
out
the
onto
exit.
dry land, we would then not, no, ich weiß nicht, gegolten.
Be successful.
Ah, okay, yeah, okay, we would not have been successful, Dayenu, it would, Dayenu.
Okay, thank you. Maurice, do you have anything to add?
Right, so the structure Volten, it's a hypothetical. If we had only left
Only.
Zion,
Oh, yeah, right.
joyfully, Oisgeleist is liberated. Right, if that only happened, no, the Yam sich nicht gespalten, but the sea hadn't split, Dayenu, it would still.
That would have been
be enough.
enough. That would have sufficed, right? That would have
Right,
sufficed.
so that's the structures,
Thank-
me. It's a hypothetical, if
Done.
only. Okay,
Yeah, because it's volt nor, right? The nor.
right.
Okay, I see that Feigl raised their hand. Feigl?
The word gegolten, that was a difficult word for me. So I finally found it. The root word is guilt. Guilt.
Right.
means-
The
It
root
was
is
hard to
guilt.
find. If you're looking in the dictionary, it's under
Right.
guilt.
That's right. Yeah, when
And I
you
guess
look in
it's-
the dictionary, you don't know what the infinitive is. Guilten is to succeed, to manage somehow. Okay.
Okay, Feigl, go on, read.
Oh, okay. We're at Voltenmeer Fertzigior. Is that where we are?
No, wollten mir im Scheuner Riber.
Okay, Voltenmeer im Scheuner Riber nicht gekannt nur über kommen 40 Jahre in Greußen mit Berdayenu. If we had gone through, if we had survived and we couldn't overcome for 14 years in the great desert, it would have been enough. Wollten mir die 14 Jahre schon in der Nidber durchgekommen und kein Mann dort nicht gefunden Dayenu. If we had been 40 years in the desert overcoming and we hadn't gotten the manna, we hadn't found the manna, it would have been enough.
Good.
Thank you. Maurice, anything to add?
No, that's fine.
What does manna actually mean? Manna.
It's the mythical food
Oh,
that came
food.
down from heaven.
Yeah.
But are you
So-
asking if it's a word that means something in addition to being, like if it actually has a root that it comes from the word?
It may, but I don't speak Sumerian, so who knows?
How come?
And which word was desert?
Midbar.
Midbar.
Midbar is a desert.
That's
Which-
Hebrew
oh,
also,
it's-
isn't it?
Oh, Midbar. Midbar.
Midbar, it's Hebrew, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the
Isabel?
word-
Yeah, Morty, yes?
No, I was just going to say that the word in Hebrew for manna is man.
Man,
Man, right.
man.
Yes.
Mhm.
I came
Okay,
late, so I got to start from scratch.
Okay,
Wollten mir dort min
man.
Man,
the man
man, it's the manna.
gefunden. If we hadn't found manna, nor dem Shabbat nicht bekommen, we didn't receive Shabbat. Und zum Sinai nicht gekommen, Dayenu. And if we hadn't come to the Sinai, Dayenu, it would have been enough.
Good.
Wollten wir zum Sinai kommen, nur die Torah nicht bekommen. And if we hadn't received the Torah, what's that?
Left out if we did get to Sinai and didn't
We
get.
did get to Sinai, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this word. Volk?
Folk. The
Volk
people.
von,
Das Volk.
okay. Volk von Torah nicht geworden. Dayenu. Geworden is
Become.
what?
It's become. If
Become.
we hadn't become
Right.
the
Okay.
people of the Torah,
If we hadn't received the Torah, right?
the Givon, if we hadn't become, folk is the
We had to
people.
become people of the Torah.
If we hadn't become the people of the Torah,
We hadn't become the people. Okay. It would have been enough. Okay.
right?
Okay, thank you. Okay, done. Okay, let's once again.
Wollten mir dann von Mitzrayim glücklich ausgelässt geworden, nach dem Jam sich nicht gespalten, da jeno.
Wollt der Jam sich schön gespalten, nur in Durken in der Truppen, wollt uns damals nicht gegolten, da jeno.
Dai, da jeno, dai, da jeno, dai, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno, dai, da jeno, dai, da jeno, dai, da jeno, da jeno, da jeno. Wollten mir im Scheuner Iber nicht gekannt noch überkommen, 40 Jahre größen mit der Dayeno.
Wollten mir die 40 Jahre schon in der Mitte durchgekommen und jemand dort nicht gefunden, da jeno.
Dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, Dayeno, Dayeno. Wollten mir dort Mann gefunden, an dem Schabes nicht bekommen und zum Sinai nicht gekommen, Dayeno.
Wollten wir zum Sinai kommen, nur die Teure nicht bekommen, das Volk von Teure nicht geworden, da jeno.
Dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, Dayeno, Dayeno.
I must leave early today.
Dai, Dayeno, dai, Dayeno, Dayeno, Dayeno.
Bravo,
Bravo.
bravo.
Okay. Okay, yes, Rafael.
Yeah, the author of that, Yud Schwartz, is most famous for having lived for a few years in the town where I'm living now, Lexington, Kentucky. And he wrote an entire epic poem called Kentucky.
Wow.
Auf English or of Yiddish?
Of Yiddish.
Of
Of
Yiddish.
Yiddish, of Yiddish. I checked it. A friend of mine sent me a recommendation to read it, but it's so long and sorry, it's so boring too. So, no. So no.
Foyle, what
Okay.
brought him to Kentucky? What brought him to Lexington?
I believe he came by train.
No.
I honestly don't know. This is over 100 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, yes, Cookie.
Yeah, I would like you to explain the Seder plate, the different things on the Seder plate and what they represent.
Okay, who is here the Maven? Morty, will you explain it, please?
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm sorry.
Of Yiddish or
did-
the English?
In Yiddish, in Yiddish.
In Yiddish?
Mama.
This is another Geschichte.
Can you repeat that, please?
We
Nina, I
also
didn't- I
had an
couldn't hear.
orange on there too. You could explain that.
Cookie asked if someone can explain what the different foods on the Seder plate represent.
Please.
Well, I can tell you
Yeah.
this. The
There's-
gefilte fish is the fish that we ate when we crossed the sea. That's clear.
First
There's
we had to catch it.
anthropological evidence that we ate gefilte fish. Somebody else can explain the
Or
other thing.
the poor fish, we must have stomped on them.
But no fish on the Seder plate.
I want to know if we
Okay.
had, No
Okay,
fish on the
Cookie asked the question. Let
Yeah,
Morty
please.
answer. All the rest, quiet.
Okay, so the bone represents the sacrifice that the Jews had to make to paint the doors where the mezuzahs on their doors, so that the angel of death would pass over their houses when he came to kill all the firstborn in Egypt. And the firstborn were, this surprise always surprised me, not only the people but also the firstborn of the animals. The bitter herbs represent the bitterness of slavery. The matzah represents, of course, the sacrifice and the fact that the Jews had to leave in a hurry, and there was no time for the leaven for the dough to rise and make regular bread. So it's unleavened bread. The egg represents the time in the sense that that the world lives on time and the time never ends. It goes around and around. Then what am I missing, Nina?
What the tears?
The grains.
Well,
The salty water.
the salted,
Oh, the
the salty
parsley.
water.
Parsley.
Parsley or some other. I think they
Corrosive.
also use potatoes.
You should show the plate. If you show the plate,
Okay, I'll show the plate.
Isabel.
show the plate.
Okay.
Purpose.
Just a moment, I'll show the plate.
Yeah.
Okay, here is the plate.
Yeah.
Let me make it even bigger.
Yeah.
So the haroset reminds us of the bricks that the Jews had to prepare during the slavery for the building of whatever buildings there were. And the parsley, honestly, I don't remember.
Purpose.
Spring.
Spring.
Oh,
Yeah.
spring,
Oh.
yes, because
Oh.
parsley grows in the spring, and it reminds us of the time of the year when Passover happens. Originally, Passover was a celebration of the coming of spring, and then it was joined with the memorializing of the liberation.
Oh, like a
from
harvest
slavery.
festival too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
harvest.
Harvest.
Okay, that's more or less what it is.
Thank you, Morty.
But
Thank
you
You're
know,
welcome.
not only is the gefilte fish not represented, which is
Right.
terrible, but I
It's
don't
a
see
shande.
any
It's a
sign.
shande.
No.
I
I was
don't
at a
see-
Sephardic table. Sephardic table never tasted gefilte fish. Never.
Those aren't real Jews.
Ah,
Those
The other
nuts.
thing is, I don't see any sign of
Mirage.
chocolate matzahs.
Oh,
We
that's
know that Rashi insisted chocolate matzahs must be, otherwise it's geitnicht.
That is so funny because Ike says that Sephardim are the real Jews.
Okay, Isabel.
It looked like gefilte fish, but the maror was supposed to be there, right?
Yeah, that's the apples. The maror is the apples with the wine.
No, that's corrosive.
That's
Maror is the bitter
Oh, and the
herbs.
nuts with
But
the
there has to be gefilte fish.
Anyway, I wanted
Okay.
to say something else. Cookie asked about the orange on the plate, which isn't there. And there are many stories, but the most accepted one was that Susanna Herschel, who was the daughter of Abraham Joshua Herschel, was asked about women on the bima, and she was told a woman on the bima is like an orange on a Seder plate. So that's why they put oranges on Seder plates.
But
Because there are more women rabbis now than anything else.
But that is not
There's
another
the story.
Thank you.
Okay, there are many versions. I think
Correct.
we're going to stop. I think we are going to stop here. I think
Right.
we are going to move to
Look it up.
Grade.
Google it.
Move on. Unhaven.
Okay.
Next.
I cannot whistle, so. Okay.
Unhaven, function on.
Okay. Chaim Grade, Nayesh Chaim. I know is the Yiddish writer de jour. You can find him now everywhere. in all the Yiddish publication because they found the end to one of his novels, and there was a big do about it in the New York Times and in other magazines. So Chaim Grade, we never read him before because he's quite difficult to read, as you probably saw when you try to read it, but we will do it together. Okay, Grade. Okay. Now, yes, Chaim, I'm going. Where did it go?
Mina, can you start from the very top with the titles of it?
Yes, but I had to close it because I don't know. It did something that I was not aware of. Yeah. What is it?
Go up to the top.
Here, Naya Schainim.
No, above that.
Above that?
Opening page.
Ah, you want the...
Yeah,
Okay.
we can figure them out very well.
This one?
Yeah.
The Mame Shabusi?
More higher. There.
Okay. That's his name. That's his name. Chaim Grade.
Oh, okay.
That's his name. And that's the name of the collection, the Mame Shabusim.
And what does that mean, the Mama Shabukim?
The Shabbos, the Saturdays of Mother.
Thank you.
Mother's Saturdays.
Thank you. Okay, now go down. We got
the print is gorgeous.
And that's Naya Schainim. And let me make it bigger.
That's machen
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So the print.
Noch größer,
Yes,
ja.
it can. Yes.
I think geht nicht über yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
Susan, please, can you start reading it? And I know there will be a lot of questions, so raise your hands if you don't understand a word or a sentence. So Susan, please.
Alteke, der Gensler halt a Tisch in der Gensliarnie auf unsere Häuf. Alteke, that's his name. The goose dealer has a table in the, would that be the goose market?
Sure.
In our yard.
Not only goose, I found that it's poultry.
It's what?
Poultry. Yeah, that's the Gensler is.
Just poultry market in our yard. Says nit mehr wie a gleiche Sach. It's only just a straight place. Reborchlen.
No, you jumped one line.
Soll sich a rüberkleiben, nennt zu sein Parnosse. So it's not more than a flat place where he can get closer to his Parnusa, what he does to earn a living.
No. It's not. Nicht mehr die gleiche Sache is something else. No. No. Rafael, can you explain it, please?
Yeah, I would understand that to be, it was just a simple matter.
Yeah.
A simple thing that he can choose to be closer to his earning a living. In der Lediger Diere von Reb Borchlen und Blumelen, in the empty apartment from Reb Boruch and Blumele. Kommt in der Früh muss laufen von der Zentergas, and it comes in the morning he has to run from the central street, öffnen die Jatka and open up the marketplace. Und als man wohnt daneben, and if you live near there, kann man euch besser Achtung geben. You can pay more attention to Ganovim sollen bei Nacht nicht zu schleppen die Skeure, that thieves don't come at night and take away the merchandise. Zog Alteke der Gensler. That's what Alteke, the goose, the poultry dealer says.
Okay, Susan, let's stop because people raise their hands. So let's stop for a while. Morty and then Vinkl. Morty?
Yeah, I've always understood that Yatke means the butcher shop.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, that was
Okay.
my understanding also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes, it should be.
Which
Yeah.
one is the butcher shop?
Yatke.
Vinkl?
Yeah, back to that word gleiche Sach, the way I interpreted that, I came up with inductive reasoning or simple logic, or smooth. It was logical to him.
Makes sense. It makes sense, yeah. Okay, thank you. Go on, Susan.
Die Schänim aber wissen dem Emes, but the neighbors actually know what's true. As dus is nicht mehr wie a teretz, that this is nothing more than a teretz, just something he feels doing.
An excuse.
An excuse, yeah. Hat sich ausgebeitelt und verschielt seine Joren. He wore out and he cursed his days. He did something bad to his days.
Ausgebeitelt is to spend one last cent. So he got no money anymore.
He spent badly.
Exactly.
Okay. And waste cursed his he cursed the years that had gone by. Was muss sich reinkleiben in Schlumpersken Häuf, that he went to this, is the name of a place, Schlumpersken, to this particular area. What would be Schlumpersken?
It's the riffraff.
The riffraff, because a schlumper is.
Oh,
you know,
Schlump, a Schlump. Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
probably a nickname.
This low life Häuf that he was
so
in.
it's
It wasn't a
probably
good,
a
it wasn't
nickname.
a prosperous marketplace.
Like a Prosterplatz.
Die Häuf Einwohner seien gar nicht so zufrieden von neuem Schochen. The dwellers in the marketplace were not at all happy with the new neighbor. Nor mein Mamen hat getroffen a Glück, but my mother found something good, something special. Wird mehr nicht sein so unheimlich umetig. He won't be so.
She won't be.
He will not be.
She, the mother.
Oh, but what is ear? Oh, for her, it will not be so strange and sad. Sind Borchel und Blumele seinen gestorben. Since Blumele and Borchel passed away, schreckt mein Mama sehr Heisel wie dus the horror stiebel from Beisoilem. That my mother is afraid of won't go near their house as though it was the washing place for the bodies in the cemetery.
Really?
Mina, you are muted.
It's just someone came to fix something, so I muted. Yes. So, yes, Raphael.
Yeah, just a few things. Grada really likes to put indirect objects first. So, nur mein Mamen, that's an indirect object. Hat getroffen, or it's actually a direct object. Hat getroffen a Glück. The subject there is a Glück. Something lucky found my mother.
Oh.
And also later, schreckt mein Mamen sehr Heisel. The subject is sehr Heisel. Their house made my mother afraid. So you'll find that often now that you got to be careful about word order. It's not English word order.
Okay. Any questions about, what we read until now? If you have, please raise your hand.
Well,
I see
is it
Morty.
Yiddish word order? You said it's not English word order, but is it Yiddish word order? Raphael?
Yiddish allows a wider spectrum of possible word orders. In particular, it allows you to put the direct object before the verb because you have endings on the nouns and on the adjectives. English generally doesn't allow that except in poetry.
Morty, yes, please.
Yes, like Refol said here, the Mamenhot getroffen aglik, it means exactly the translation that it says. It was lucky for the mother. But in Yiddish also, when you say aglikot mich getroffen, means that you had not a tragedy, but that something bad or something unusual happened to you.
Everything is ironic.
It's ironic.
Yeah, it's an irony. So when you say if you lose money or something because you invested it badly, you say aglikot mich getroffen.
Yeah. Any more comments or questions? Everything is okay. So Morty, can you continue? Alterke is?
Yeah. Alterke is a niedrig gepackte und geilerdige wie a Fesselsäuer Kreuz. Alterke is a short, well-packed and round like a container of sour cabbage. His hotter creme. His legs are turned the
Crooked.
The inim voltarein a gilgul fin kachkene lapkis. As if in him a devil came in with the feet of a duck. Sein Weib is a hoyeche, dicke Yidene. His wife is a tall, thick Jewish woman mit aroizgestrashete Eugenes, with aroizgestrashete Eugenes. Something about the eyes, but I don't know the word.
Protruding eyes, protruding.
Protruding eyes. The kulakis, like the
like a peasant.
No, like a kulak, like a Russian
fist.
peasant, like a Russian peasant. Der dritter in der Mishpuche is der schwarzer Kotter. The third one in the family is the black cat, and upgegessener in a foiler, a starving one and a bad one. Liegt auf der blechenem Tisch. He lies on the tin table, leben verbläutigten Hackmesser, near the cutting knife, the cutting hack, which is bloodied, near the bloodied hack knife, by the leibige herumgeflickte Gens, near the caged Gens that are alive. Unriert nicht tun means soll sagen a pupikel, and he doesn't touch, as you would say, even a pupikel. A fligele, a helsale, and a
wing.
Sorry, my English is I'm losing my English.
A wing.
Yeah, a wing or a throat. Geht mit gelassene Tritt. He goes around with slow steps, spazieren über Hof, walking around the yard, the home, the place, and attemt koim fin Fettkeit, and he barely breathes because he's so fat. Wie sein Balabuste, just like his owner, woman owner.
Okay, so let's stop just here. You will continue later, but there are people that raise their hands. So, Elaine, please. Elaine, yeah.
Okay, the word lapkis, what does it mean, lapkis?
Pose, a paw.
Pause.
A paw of an animal.
Paw.
Lapkis.
Yeah.
Not
thought-
like
No,
it's,
Kachkine lapkis. What's
Yeah. So the paw of the kachke, the paw of the duck.
Oh, PAW.
Oh, the paw. Okay, because I remember my mother using telopkis as meaning big feet. Telopkis.
like the feet of the duck.
Yeah, I never knew it, but there is such a word as telopkis with a t in front of it.
No, it's just lappe and lapke.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe she wanted to say the lapkis with a
Well,
dal in the front.
yeah. Okay,
The
could have been. Thank you.
A lapa is also a hot mitt. A mitt for taking things out of the oven.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, a big,
a mitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, a mitt to take things out of the oven is a lapa.
Yeah.
Okay. Harriet?
Yes, Upgegesener means to be overfed, I think. And then Bieke herumgefliegte Gens would be a plump, plucked goose.
Plucked. Herumgefliegte is plucked. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Vinkl?
Yeah, there were two things. One was the Gilgul, I think. Would it be right? He translated it as a devil. I thought it was more of an incarnation without that judgment of calling it a devil. Volta Arina Gilgul from a Kachkin.
Incarnation is good.
Yeah. And then the other one, Kulakis. I know it can mean peasants, but does that word for peasants?
No.
Fists, right?
A kulak?
A kulak, yeah. What is it?
No, a kulak is a rich Russian peasant.
Oh, right, a peasant. But is it connected to the word for fist? Kulak? Fist, kulak is
not
fist?
that I know, but maybe
the peasants. Okay, so it's only a rich peasant. It's not the peasant that was beating up people.
No, they have to be rich. Refoel, yes.
So I thought her eyes were bulging out like fists. I don't know. But that makes more sense to me. Do kulaks, are they famous for having bulging eyes?
Vinkl, Refoel raised his hand. He probably knows, so let him speak.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, the word kulak here does mean fist or mitten. It's not referring to a kind of person. It's just that the eyes bulge out as like a fist, like something which is gathered together. And you can imagine that the bulging eyes might look a bit like fists.
Okay, so that makes more sense than the peasants. Okay, good. Thank you both for raising the question and for answering it.
But I could imagine they would think in those days of kulaks as having fists.
But if they're using the word D means the. So it would sound like it would be people. VD kulakas, no?
Or maybe it's her fists bulging out because sometimes D can be fists, like D mama would be our mother. So D kulakas would be, except why wouldn't.
No, D kulakas like their fist. It's okay.
Oh, like their fist. So it's possessive.
Yeah,
it's
plural.
It's there.
It's plural. Yeah.
But it's
okay. Go on.
Yeah.
Marty, go on. Yes, Maurice.
I just wanted to say two things. Where it says he looked like a Fessel Zoyakreut. That's a barrel of sauerkraut.
Mhm,
That's what it is, because of the round shape.
mhm.
And the word Gilgul, Vinim volt rein a Gilgul, as if a Gilgul had possessed him. And I think a Gilgul is something like a Dybbuk, where it's the spirit of a dead person who can possess a living person.
Mhm. Okay, and in this case, it's from a kachke.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a kachke. Okay. Okay, so Morty, please go on. Lise.
Lise, alter que der Gensler's wife, Lisa, the wife of the of the drug dealer, ruft men die Madame. They call her the Madam. Sie redt mit die Kunden sehr idle. She talks to the clients very kindly.
No, idle is not kindly.
Idle, fine, F-I-N.
Refined,
Yes,
refined.
Okay.
yes, yes.
Refined. Okay. Und freundelt sich nicht mit kein Jentes. And she doesn't become friendly with any Jentes. I don't think that there is a translation for Jentes.
Busybody. Busybody.
Gossip, a gossip.
Gossips.
A gossip.
Aber
Mit der gehäubenem Koinen schmiest sie Russisch. With a upstanding customer, she speaks Russian. Blois einmal hat der only one time hat der Häuf gegafft von Steunung, wo's für a Pamunitze von Siedlereien sie kann ausgehen. Sorry, but I didn't understand.
So only one
time
time
in the building.
The yard, gegafft von Steuerung. He was astonished. Was like to get, to be, was really astonished. What kind
of
a Pomenitze von Silderein? A bucket of curses. A bucket of curses.
Zidlereien, of course, Zidlereien is curses. Yes.
Yeah.
A bucket of
always
a good translation for Pomenitsa is a slop pail. Slop pail.
The curses that she can pour out.
She can pour out. Yes.
Okay, can somebody do that whole sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Smoothie.
a little slower.
Only one time could the people in the garden or the place were astonished due to the amount of curses that she could pour out.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Any comment until now?
That was curses?
Curses.
Yeah, which
Zilderayen.
Zidlen means to curse and Zidlerayen means curses.
Yeah. Okay, Rafael, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Isn't there Shelton? Shelton is cursing.
Cookie, you are Rafael. I will let you talk later. Rafael, please.
Yeah, the idea of a hoif is important here. The way that the buildings are arranged is these are apartment buildings and they surround an inner courtyard. And so the entire set of apartments is called the hoif, although literally it's just the area that's enclosed by them. And so from the street, you might walk through a portal of some sort, which would bring you into the hoif. And then from there, there'd be entrances into various parts of the apartment house. So when we say the hoif here, we're referring then to that entire apartment complex.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Cookie, now you.
I'm sorry. Isn't cursing clawless Shelton.
Yes,
Yeah.
those two, right.
Yiddish is a rich language. There are more than one word for something.
The only thing we
And
have
Jews
in
are very refined people.
Especially when it comes to curses, we don't curse.
My father used to curse like crazy, and when he was finished in Yiddish, and when he was finished, he says, "As ich wollte nur gekannt Shelton."
And what does that mean?
After he cursed like crazy, he would say, "Oh, if only I could curse."
Okay, so let's continue. Rafael, please. Can you continue?
Ja. Das ist geschehen, wenn die Warschauer Seuchrim haben gebracht die Foren mit die gefrorene Gans. This happened, this episode of cursing, this happened when the Warsaw merchants, now this is all taking place now in Vilna. And so these are merchants from farther south. The Warsaw merchants had brought the
Get the phone fixed.
Yeah.
Had brought the carriages or the wagons with the frozen geese. Die Warschauer haben geschrien auf sehr Loschen. The Warsaw folk were shouting in their language, "Wir handeln auf Nemones." We will buy and sell, most likely we'll sell this on credit. And Nemones is good faith. Nor Litvechkes lebendit kein Polische. But the women in Lithuania don't trust these Polish ones. Haben die Genslerkes gemacht Yadaches. So the sellers of poultry, feminine, made a Yadaches, literally one hand, but it means they form together into a union, into a single bargaining structure.
A united front.
That's it, a united front. Keiner gitnit merer. None of them would purchase for more money. Sollen sich die polnische Dripkes wagen mit sehr Eufes. Let these Polish no-goodniks choke on their poultry.
A dripka, you can call it a slut because it's
Yeah.
a woman particularly.
Yeah, it's a filthy person. Yeah.
Filthy women.
Right. And it's almost a taboo word. It's a pretty nasty word.
Yes.
A slut is
But
like
it's always a Polish dripke. I never heard it going to end with a Litvish dripke. It's always Polish dripke. Don't know why.
Plötzlich hat man sich derwurst. Suddenly they found out as Lisa hat hinten herum abgekauft die Säure in gleichen Geld. That Lisa, this is the wife of the goose dealer.
Goose dealer.
Yeah, that Lisa behind the scenes, hinten herum, she had bought up the merchandise for ready money. That is not on credit, but she had actually paid money. Demolt is es vorgekommen der größer Krieg. And at that point rose the enormous battle. Die Weiber haben gelärmt. The women started making a big commotion. Mir, die ehrliche Narronim, gleben ihr. We, the honest fools, were trusting her. Mir stehen Stahl und Eisen. We were standing with a united front, literally steel and iron. Nehmt sie und werd mit die Seuchem kutzen und mutzen you. And she has to become with these Warsaw merchants, kutzen und mutzen you, fast friends.
She gets chummy.
Chummy, yeah.
Yeah.
Palsy walsy.
That's it. Wie gefällt euch die Madame? So how do you like this here, madam? Was ist gebacken edel und redt heile Russisch? Who has was baked literally, was raised in a gentlemanly fashion, edel, and she even speaks Russian. Now heile, not quite sure what heile is going to mean here.
Heule is
Pure
pure.
Russian.
Pure, okay.
Pure.
Unadorned or pure, yeah, and she speaks pure Russian. Now, I guess in Lithuania at that time, it was part of the Russian Empire. It could well have been, and so
Yeah.
speaking Russian would be
Yes.
a mark of nobility there.
Yes.
Or being hoity-toity.
Yeah, my grandmother was born around that area, around 1880, and she spoke Lithuanian, strangely enough, and Yiddish, maybe some Russian, I don't know.
Okay,
Shall I continue?
Raphael, before you continue, yes, but before I see Vinkl raise their hand. Vinkl?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm puzzled about that line that Keiner get net mehr. No one would pay more. Is there an implication that the Wausau merchants are charging interest when they have the credit? And so when it says that Lisa paid Gleichgeld, that she paid ready money and she didn't have to pay the extra interest?
That could be, because certainly they're doing it on credit, auf nemonas. She is paying mit gleiche Geld in cash, and it might be that if you buy on credit, you have to pay a little bit more, and they made a compact among themselves not to pay more, and she went ahead and undermined them somehow.
Maybe she charged a tariff.
God.
Okay, go on.
Okay, Vinkl,
Go
did you have another question? Your hand's still up? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay. So,
Is der Zis verkilter Schmeichel arop von Lisa's ponim? The sweet but cold smile left the face of Lisa. Lisa's face no longer had this semi-sweet smile. Und sie hat a Plüche getan. And she, now Plüche is a gush. She gushed out with the following. Schlumpers Franzevate.
Franzevate.
Yeah. Franzevate means a Franz is just a second, I'm looking this up in my own dictionary here.
Franzevate is
syphilitic.
Exactly, syphilitic.
Franzen is the name of the disease syphilis. Franzen.
Because they said it was spread by the Frenchmen.
Of course, it was the French disease. Or in France, they call it the English disease. Anyway.
And they call it the English disease, yeah.
It's never from here. And a schlumper, of course, is someone who doesn't care about cleanliness. Okay, so schlumpers Franzevate. This is what Lisa said. Die Eisches Heilnitzes, die Verkäuferkes mit die Größe Meiler. So let's go back here now. Die Eisches Heilnitz. And so an Eishes Heil, it comes from the penultimate chapter of Proverbs. Eishes Heil miyimtza, who can find a woman of valor. And so the women of valor, and with a Slavic ending nitzes, feminine, die Verkäuferkes, these sellers, this is all feminine, mit die Größe Meiler, with these big mouths, haben sich abgeträßelt, they shook themselves off, wie unter sehr vercheiles auf die Hor, und die Nakens wollte reingekappet, brudig Regenwasser. Okay, they shook themselves as if dirty rainwater had crept under their head coverings onto their hair and the back of their neck. Notice the word order here is, it's not usual word order for English, literally in word order, as if under their kerchiefs, on their hair and their the back of their necks had rained down filthy rain water. So you gotta go to the end of the sentence there to figure out what's going on in English.
What's going on? You have to read everything. You cannot stop in the middle. Yes. Thank you, Rafael. Morty, yes?
Yes, I just wanted to mention that Eshet Chayil, in addition to what Rafael explained, is also a poem said in usually among Orthodox houses after the Kiddush on Friday night at the table. The man recites it honoring his wife as the Eshet Chayil.
Okay, Eshet Chayil Mimtza. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and everyone, and these days everyone uses Ben Sion Shenker's melody for that. It became the only melody. Eshes Chayil Miyimtza, that melody.
Oh,
I know another melody for it.
That's a beautiful song. I wanted you to know that my father, who was a poet also, he wrote a whole poem, and on my mother's stone is written Eshes Chayil, and a whole poem about her. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Thanks. Beautiful. Louisa, yes.
Yeah, Rafael, I love the version that you were singing. And I like to know who is the author of that version.
Are you talking to me?
No,
Rafael.
Yeah, his name, he died about 5 years ago, and he mostly was a menagain for the Mojitzer Hasidim. His name, Ben Sion Shenker, Shenker. Ben Sion Shenker.
Thank you. And the other thing I wanted to say is that Francovate is from Polish, but here it's Francevate, it's the same word. In Polish, they use it a lot. Everything that is awful, bad, terrible.
Those damn French.
The Francovate, and then whatever it is that they're talking about. It's always a Francovate something. My father used to say that all the time.
Okay. Levana, you're still here, Levana?
Yes.
Okay, please read. Noch aggressere.
Noch aggressere Kriegerei ist vorgekommen zwischen ihr Mann und dem Schritterstiebel. An even greater quarrel happened between her husband and here it's and the
slaughterhouse.
The slaughterhouse, meaning the man who is responsible, who works there. Die Schochtim.
Yes.
Die Schochtim haben geteinet, als die gebrachte, gekeulte Teure habe abgekeulet. So the slaughters, those who slaughter, argued, their argument was that...
Complained.
Yes. It can be both, but here, yes, you're right. They complained that the... I don't know what gebrochte means.
Gebrachte, that the brought.
The what?
Bringen, comes from bringen.
Ah, gebrachte.
What does gepoilte mean?
Yes, the merchandise that they brought, they themselves had slaughtered that.
No.
No.
Abgekoilt is to deprive of their parnuse.
Ah.
To deprive of livelihood. That's abgekoilt.
Oh, okay.
So it's a
So
concurrent.
they argued or they complained that the schoire, that the merchandise that was already plucked and that was brought by the Warszawer Soicherim deprived them of their parnusse because they didn't
Yes, of
have
course.
they didn't have now what to slaughter.
Keiner wird mehr nicht schächten a Hindel. So that no one will now have to slaughter the poultry, nor warfen sich kaufen polnische Gänsens, was is this expression, I don't know.
Bezilazol, bezilazol, for no money, really cheap.
Umzist. So now no one will buy their merchandise, their poultry, and they will throw themselves on the Polish poultry that is so cheap.
Yes.
Hat sich Alterke geworfen, schlagen, scheuchet. So Alterke was ready to grab, to
hit someone.
Yeah. Es hat gehalten dabei, man soll ihm asseren. It was as if now, what means asseren? What
To
is
put in jail.
They were about to put him in jail. Sind der Meise ist Aschlehove auf die Scheuer. Since then, since this happened, is
Eschleerweis, in Yiddish, it's ungezinden. He's furious.
Yes,
Furious.
furious against the Shoftim. Erklärt, he thinks as they haben ihm verscholten. He says that they have insulted him.
Cursed him.
Cursed him. A Simon hat there's a Simon, a sign.
A sign.
Yes, is that he has hat sich gemusst rauskleiben von seine lichtige Sallen und sich reinkleiben in Armenhäuf. Since then, he was obliged, he had to leave, to transfer her from the sunny, the bright hall where he used to be, and move to this poor court.
Yes. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah, Morty.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that regarding the Omgekeult, that they lost their livelihood. The expression in Yiddish, when somebody complains that he has lost his livelihood, is Omgekeult una Messer.
Oh,
usually
okay.
No, it's usually just oy vey.
But that, anyway, that's a usual expression. Gekoilt una Messer.
What does it mean?
He slaughtered me without a knife.
Ah.
Okay. Thank you. Luisa, yes?
Yeah, I have two questions, please. One is the sentence that begins, hat gehalten dabei, men soll ihm assieren or something like that.
Awesome.
Awesome. How do you translate hat gehalten dabei? I'm not clear about the translation.
It almost reached the stage of.
I see. Thank you. And the second one was a Simenhotter. So a Simenhotter, how does
and he has a sign for this.
He realized.
No,
He realized it. A sign for
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay. Everyone understands what's going on.
No.
No.
Royce Klaven, what was that again?
To move.
Reinkleiben.
To move.
Royce Klaven, and what does it mean?
Reinkleiben.
Out from somewhere, to move.
To move out from somewhere.
And in
But Kleibdeutsch, isn't it to pick out, to pick out?
No.
No.
Klein noise, yes, but
you have in the same sentence a Reinkleiben and then a Reinkleiben.
Reinkleiben, yes.
Oh, yes.
To move out and move in.
Yes, exactly.
How would you say pick out something in Yiddish? I want to pick something. If Phil, don't you say that? How do you say I would pick out?
Pick out is Reinkleiben.
How would you say pick out? I want to pick out.
Choose
Reinkleiben. Reinkleiben.
Yeah, but
So
and this is sich herauskleiben.
Oh, sich
right, means to move out.
I see. Oh no.
Vinkl?
Yeah, that word oseren, menzol im oseren, there's two words that are very similar. Asir is a prisoner, but oseren means to ban or to prohibit. So I think in this case, it came to the point where they almost banned him. They were boycotting rather than almost imprisoning him. Asir has a yud in there. And oseren is the verb to forbid.
Okay, so for Henrietta. So Henrietta, there is, I'll just sum it. There is a folk, my English is gone now. He works as a shoichet, and she is putting on air when she has, what she thinks is very rich clients or heroic clients, okay? And now there was what happened that they moved into the court where his mother is living, opposite her. Opposite her. And there was a huge war between the man and the shoichetim because his wife, there were some soicherim, some merchants came from Warsaw with poultry, and she bought from them cash money, whereas all the other sellers in the market, the women sellers, say that they will not buy from them. But she, crossed the union line and she bought from them.
She bought it all.
Yeah. And there is, and the slaughterer say that their livelihood is taken away from them because the merchandise is already slaughtered and clean. So that's what we did until now. I forgot anything? If I forgot anything, please.
All the curse words, but that's okay.
Okay. So Henrietta, that's the core of what we were reading until now. It's okay? Okay. So Michael Fissman, can you continue von deswegen?
Okay, sorry. Von deswegen ist bei sich nicht gefallen. Nevertheless, he did not fall in his own eyesight. He didn't lose his self-esteem. Und gleich dem ersten Shabbos beweist was can. And the very first Saturday, he showed what he really can do. Manche Zeit nimmt die Mama ihres vor ihm und setzt sich heraus auf dem Stell lehnen. At the time when you daven mincha, my mother, took her books outside, sits on the threshold to read her probably holy books. Unser Katz mit dem weißen Fleck auf der Nase setzt sich weg daneben. And our cat with the white patch on the nose also sits down near her, mit dem Eck unter sich, with the tail under herself. Genetzt sich,
genetzt sich.
Genetzt sich, weiß, yawns, und hält sich dabei nicht zu chappen, kein Fliegen Shabbos. And at the same time, she's very careful not to catch any flies on Shabbos. Die Mama wird durch der offene Tür von einem Keggen. My mother sees through the open door that's opposite. Wie Lisa stellt weg auf ein Vinkl, a Schüssel kochend Wasser, puts down on a bench a bowl of boiling water. Fragt sich, she asks herself, wo hat die Madame jetzt genommen heiß Wasser? From where has this Madame now found hot water? Aber wie bald von Keumen geht nicht kein Räuch, but as no smoke was going out of the chimney, will die Mama nicht versündigen ihre Jahren. Mother doesn't want to sin her years, und chosh sein, a jiddische Tochter, and suspected a Jewish daughter, as sie hat besticker gemacht fire auf der Plitter, that she very silently made a fire in the stove. Der sieht sie aber wie Lisa zulost die Haar, but she sees how Lisa loosens her hair, swogt sie, washes the hair wie a young maidel, like a young girl, reißt sie mit dem Kämmel, pulls the hair with a comb und schämt sich gar nicht zu stehen vor dem Mann a halbnackter, and is not at all ashamed to stand in front of, I take it, her husband, half naked. Azama, the Chalal Shabbosnitzer. What a transgressor of the Sabbath she is. Ärgert sich die Mama, so my mother gets angry. Doch schweigt sie, but she still keeps quiet. Warum Lisa kann ihr greilich azotwan, because Lisa can really greatly tell her out. Was hat ihr reinzumischen, euer Nose in a fremder Stub? Why are you poking your nose into a stranger's house?
Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you. So, Rafael, yes?
Yeah, I just want to point out that the reason that mother is sitting on the stoop is because there's no light on inside, and the only place you can read, this is before electricity, the only place you can read is by taking your book outside, and this is mincha time, so it's towards the evening on Shabbos, and that's why she happens to be outside.
Okay, thank you.
Isn't she also showing off that she's doing the correct thing?
No.
No,
It just, you can't do it in the house. Okay,
Well, she can't read at home because it's too dark.
got
She
it.
was
Okay.
he depicts her as a very, very humble woman.
Mhm.
So she wouldn't think to do that. She's just
Okay.
extremely modest, extremely humble.
Okay.
But what I like is the cat, because the cat is very careful not to catch flies on the Shabbat.
Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful.
I'm going to work on Shabbos.
Yeah, he cannot work on
That's
Shabbos.
hilarious.
So, any question or about what's going on here until now? Okay, so Luisa, can you continue? Is a Weitig.
Is a Weitig in Herzen zuzusehen, wer es hat sich besetzt in Rav Bruchel und Blumeles Dire. So, is a Weitig. Who is She?
The mother.
His mother.
The mother.
The mother, she is
Heartache.
far away, is
It's
it?
painful. It's
No.
painful.
It's painful for her. Remember what Rafael told us about the way the sentence is done here.
Right. It's painful to her.
It is painful to her in her heart to see where es hat sich, who has sat or accommodated himself in Rev Bruchel und Blumeles Dire. Right? Am I
Yeah,
okay?
Besetz has moved in.
Who has moved in?
They've moved into Reb Bruchel. Yeah.
Okay. Und sie will reingehen zurück in Stub, and she will go back inside the house.
She wants.
She wants to.
She wants to go inside the house.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. She wants to go back to the house. Sie soll es nicht dürfen zugucken. She should not, or she should not have to look. I'm not clear about
Okay.
To see it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
she wants to go back into the house, so she won't see that they are Mechalel Shabbos.
Ah, okay, okay. And now I understand. Thank you. Nor in Kuzine is
Kuznia.
in Kuzine. What is Kuzine?
Kuznia is a workshop.
The
It's a
Ford.
yeah, it's a workshop. It's
so in the workshop.
Actually, a foundry.
The foundry. That's the word.
So in the foundry is Dunkel, somebody, right?
No,
Dark.
Dunkel is dark. Dark.
Dark.
Vinkl.
I
Vinkl.
It's
see.
dark. It's dark inside. There's no light.
I see. Men kann sich beim Lehnen die Augen herausnehmen. So when one reads, you can end up with your eyes out or take out your eyes reading.
You could pull out your eyes.
Yeah, thank you. Dazu ist ihr glatt nicht zum Herzen lichvot Shabbos sich wegsetzen in Warstadt beim Bloßsack zwischen Kastens mit Keulen.
Okay,
And-
stop here because it goes on. So
Yeah, I
stop
know.
here. Dazu ist glatt nicht zum Arzen.
Therefore,
No, in addition.
in addition, she cannot get in her heart.
No, it's not to her liking. It's not to her liking.
Her liking lichvot Shabbos because of Shabbos to sit in what Warstadt beim
Workshop.
The workshop.
In the workshop beim Bloßsack. Please help me here. What is Bloßsack?
The bellows.
Yeah,
The
it's a
bellows to-
foundry. It's a
Lord.
It's a foundry,
foundry.
and the bellows blow air into the fire to keep it up.
I see. Thank you. Zwischen Kastens, between the
Carton.
flames?
Kastens mit Keul.
Please help me there.
Cartons.
Chests of
Boxes
coal.
with the coal.
Coals.
Boxes with coal.
Mhm.
Con carbón.
Carbon, yeah, I hear you. Thank you.
So wait a minute, between what with coal?
Crates of
Between
coal.
the boxes of coal.
Boxes of coal.
Okay, thank you.
It's a foundry, so those are the things that you can find in a foundry.
Right, got it now. Okay.
So they have this foundry in the middle of the courtyard.
No, it's in
No,
their
it's in the
house.
apartment.
It's in the apartment.
It's in their apartment. It was a workshop and an apartment altogether.
I see. Thank you. Thank you. Pudike hammers, I need help there too.
I know hammers, it's no, patish. It's a hammer, but what pudike, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
No.
a unit of weight. It's 40, it's a pound, many pounds, 40, like tons of hammers, heavy hammers.
It's the heavy
Right.
it's the heavy hammers with which they give form to the iron that is being formed in the foundry.
Right.
Okay. You see, together we are getting it.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Schrubbstacks mit aufgerissene gasolnische Meiler und stollene Sägen mit Hische. Saying, I think I need help there too.
Schraubstacks, I don't know. It's probably
They're
some other.
vices.
What is it?
Vices, V-I-S-E-S, vices. To screw in something, to tighten it.
Okay, so it's some kind of tool.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
With aufgerissene gasolnische
With gaping murderous mouths and steel saws.
Okay. Mit chayeshe Zähnen. With
animal-like. With light teeth.
Animal-like teeth.
Okay.
Bleib die Mame, now I can go on. Bleib die Mame sitzen auf dem Schwell. So Mame, the mother stays sitting auf dem Schwell.
Well, threshold.
Threshold.
Und provet, oder provet sich vertiefen in Teitchumesh. And she is absorbed in the Chumash in Taich, in Yiddish, right?
Yiddish translation.
Yeah.
So she tries.
She tries to.
Oh, she tries to approve it. She tries to, and what is vertiefen?
To absorb herself.
Absorb. Yeah. Okay.
To get deeper.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Like we would say in Polish, I broke my teeth this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not an easy one at all. But yeah. Okay, Rochelle. Yeah.
I get the image of a smithy, where they're hammering iron and they're making a fire with this coal. It doesn't seem like it would be in the apartment,
It
but
was.
the
It
back
was.
of it.
It was.
Back of
She was
it.
very poor.
We had coal in the basement. My mother, when the landlord would leave, my mother would go down in the basement and add coal to the burner so we'd have hot
But this is here they're hammering iron. You have a vise that has a jaw like an animal and a very heavy hammer. So you're hammering the iron, or you're hammering something that you're making, like in a smithy.
Right.
And I don't think they're burning this coal in the house or in the apartment. And I get the image that there is the front of the apartment or house where she's sitting and she's unhappy because of what she's seeing. But if she goes to the back where there's enough light, then she's in this environment. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Any more comment? We will stop here because it's already 12 o'clock. And I think that Louisa Otzebrochener Zehn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we will continue next week. Yes, Maurice, please.
I just want to mention about this war with the kosher butchers in the very early 20th century in New York on the Lower East Side, where there were millions of Jewish immigrants, there was something that was called the Kosher Butchers' War, because at a certain point, the kosher slaughterers raised their prices. And when the slaughterers raised their prices, the women in the Lower East Side organized this gigantic demonstration, a boycott, and I don't know how long it lasted, but they finally got them to lower their prices.
I have an article about it, Bush. I'll look for it. I
There you
saved,
go. I didn't make it up.
No. I saved the article about it. So interesting.
Thank you. Yeah, Morty?
I was, when we started reading this, I just remember that a long time ago, Maurice said that this was one of the things, or maybe the only thing that he had read from Chaim Grade, and it was very, very sad.
Yeah.
Do you remember you saying that?
Yeah, I
Maurice?
read it about 20 years ago in English, and it's very sad because then the Germans came and Grade escaped with a lot of other Jews by going to the Soviet Union, and many of the Jews were under the impression that the Germans wouldn't harm the women and the children. And so he left his mother and his wife, and he may have had a child. And then he went to the Soviet Union, survived with hundreds of thousands of other Jews that the Soviets let in. And then he found out what the Germans had been up to. So it's, yeah.
The thing is that towards the end of, sorry, Morty, go on.
No, I was just going to say he's a wonderful writer. I've read a couple of his books, but I think that his best work is the fight with Hersch, mein Krieg mit Herschel.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the conversation between the religious Jew and the non-religious Jew.
Yeah, and in
Yeah.
Yiddish, it's a wonderful Yiddish.
A
that he
wonderful
writes.
story. Miriam Hoffman said that Chaim Grade should have gotten the Nobel Prize, not Singer.
And not
Because he
Singer.
was by
Yes.
far the better writer,
Yes,
but not as
yes.
well known.
People thought that, said that.
Yeah.
But Bashevis Singer was a better marketeer than Grade.
Right.
And besides, Bashevis Singer didn't have the wife that Grade had when he married the second time.
Yeah.
And who hid all his works until after he died, and after she died, they became really open into the general market and taken up by the copied in the National Yiddish Book Center, where you can find almost all his books.
Okay, Cookie, yes?
I have a question. Is a kosher butcher allowed to shech chicken? Why would they need a shechet that only kills chickens and geese or whatever like that? Those kinds of birds. And the slaughterhouses have the cows or whatever the kosher butchers slaughter. Was there a rule between that religiously, or was that union-like? That the chickens were always by a shechet, but of course my uncle was a kosher butcher, my father was a shechet. I often wondered, what did they need the shechet in the chicken market for if my uncle could slaughter chickens just as easily as whatever, I don't know. Or maybe the kosher butcher just gets the meat after it's slaughtered in a slaughterhouse. The animals were too large, maybe.
Maybe Morty can answer.
Yeah, my understanding is that because it is done because the technique for shechting oifes is very different from shechting cows or that kind of animal. So the two are there. Of course, shochetim that can do both, but the techniques are both different, and many just shecht chickens and geese and that because it's easier. It's much smaller animals. There's no need for the strength and the effort as to shecht a cow.
Also, another question. I always was under the impression that a shochet, such as my father, had to be learned in Torah. In other words, a religious man who comes in and just knows how to shech. What he had to be a Torah scholar also, in some way. He had to be not only from, but maybe automatically, if you could be from without really knowing, being learned in Torah. I always felt that they had to be learned in Torah, not just to be a man who comes in and just slices a chicken's neck. I don't know if there's a rule on that.
Well, I don't know if there is a rule, but the tradition or the Talmud says that the type of work of killing animals is so difficult because you're taking a life that only somebody who's really immersed in Torah learning can withstand the effort and the difficulty of taking lives every day and so many times every day. On the other hand, there was also the custom that a cheder teacher could not be a shoichet because the two functions were conflicting one with the other.
Okay, thank you. Bob and Louisa, and we will stop because I have to go with my husband to a dentist. So, Bob.
So there was, in the past couple of years, Ruth Wisse, great Yiddish scholar, did a new translation of the Grada, My Quarrel with Hirsch. And as English and Yiddish together with a great introduction about Grada. I mean, she's a huge fan, of course, and I think most of the, let's say, academics who studied all these Yiddish scholars agree that Grada should have been the
Nobel Prize.
at least on merits, on these merits anyway.
Thank you.
Not that good a self-promoter for sure.
Thank you. Okay, Louisa.
Yeah, that was my question about that book. I was interested in that book. Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, so people, I really need to
the tick for fun.
I can keep it open, Minna.
You can
Okay,
keep
yeah,
it up,
just
so-
go.
Okay. We
I
will see
ju-
you
I-
next week. Okay, we will see
I
you
just
next
want-
week, and we will continue reading it, okay?
I just want to say thank you for this. It's so rich with
Yes.
how people probably talked at the time, you know?
Yes.
I mean, with all the common language, this is like feeling the heart of what our great grandparents probably, how they interacted. So I'm so grateful.
I have the whole thing. I have the book in English.
What is the name?
My Mother's Sabbath Days.
Thank you.
I'll show you.
Thank you.
Okay, who else wants to talk?
Yeah, I
Well,
wanted to
Maria,
say.
oh, sorry.
Fagel, go ahead,
Well,
Fagel.
talking about the story, the quarrel with Herschel, whatever. There's a film made of that. You probably all know there is a movie.
No,
It's
what
the
is it called?
Yeah.
Same title as the story, I think, or maybe it's just the quarrel. I think it's called the
Yes,
quarrel.
it's called The Quarrel.
Wow.
PBS showed it a few years ago.
Oh, really?
It's quite good. It's really well done.
Do you know if it's
Very
on YouTube?
Yeah, you probably can find it on YouTube.
Everywhere.
But I've seen it on TV for sure.
I found it on the words online with an English translation. If you can find it
Well, yeah,
online.
but I'm just
I mean,
saying
if you
the
don't want to
movie.
buy the book and you can't find the movie, it's
Well, the
you
movie
can-
should be foundable.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Thank you. Thank you. It's very good.
This was very interesting.
Thank
Fair.
you.
Marie, can you stay on for a minute?
Yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm keeping this open so we can figure out a problem Beverly has, but see you next time.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, I had another thing to say about the question of the training and the scholarship and the difference between a butcher of hens and a butcher of mammals. I think part of the problem is that the butcher or the shochet or the has to decide. He has to make decisions about Jewish law, and also he has to weigh the morality, like whether you know, if a woman has a chicken and she's afraid that it's not kosher anymore, or and her family's going to starve if she doesn't cook it. So I think there's like the letter of the law, and then there's also the saving of lives. And so the shochet acts somewhat like a rabbi in having to decide the good of the welfare of the people versus the severity of the law.
But that decision, which was many times valid, was usually done by the rabbi and not by the shochet, because the shochet had a personal interest in selling the product. If it was not kosher according to his decision, he would not offer it for sale to Jewish people. He would usually sell it to somebody who was not Jewish.
That makes sense. Fascinating. Adank.
Okay, I'm not going to close it. You need to let yourselves out. And I'm going to stop the recording.